Clubhouse.
That's the problem we face in Africa. And that is why we're having this conversation. It's so important that we're having this conversation because it can be crazy. Or how do you
Yeah.
explain to someone they've had light all their lives and you're telling me that, oh, there's no light or internet just sees from where to where, please? All right. So it's good that we're having this conversation tonight and happy to have you talk to us today. Who wants to intro? Let's have like 5 people introduce themselves before we kickstart. Who wants to go? Temitope, do you want to introduce yourself? I'm going to spotlight you, right? Hi, Jumoke, how you doing?
Hi.
Good evening, Miss Gloria. I'm fine, thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is
Hi.
Tim Tope, as Gloria rightly mentioned. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm currently transitioning into customer success.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have 4 people to go. Who else wants to introduce? Hi, Peace Ijoma, how you doing?
Hi,
Lillian,
good evening.
good evening. Lillian, sorry, please.
Hello.
Lillian, you're not introducing yourself now. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Peace Ijoma. I am currently in Calabar, Cross River, and I am a customer service representative for an e-commerce business, and I just recently transitioned to customer success.
Good to have you in the house. I'm always happy to see people from customer service to customer success because one day you were earning like 40, 50, 100K, and now when you get to customer success, you can now feed your family and probably have something to save, right? So maybe you get to hear my story today or another day, but then I'm happy to have you in the house. All right. All right, we have 3 people to introduce themselves before we kick off. Favor, how you doing? Hi, Muibat. What's up? How are you?
Hi, good evening, Gloria.
Been a
Good evening,
minute.
everyone. Yeah. My name is Muibat Alaro, a customer experience specialist. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Good to have you. All right, we have room for 2 people, then we start. Hi, Memuna Akin.
Hi, my name is Akite. I'm a student that wants to transition into customer service. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. I'm always happy as well to hear people I want to transition to customer success. That means you know what you want and you want to do that. Fantastic. All right, 1 person and we are off. But today, who wants to go? Georgina, would you like to introduce yourself? Toluwa, Shay. Did I pronounce it wrongly? Forgive me, please.
Hi, everyone. Good
Hiya.
evening. My name is Georgina Waikina. I'm a customer success specialist at an e-commerce company here in Lagos.
Okay, good to have you here. Customer success specialist. All right, that's a good one. From there, when you know what is your organogram in your organization, depend on where you are. You can have an intern, then analyst, then specialist, then you move to CSM, then you need to move to either the head of CSM or you can move to VP of CSM like that.
So the company is a startup and I am the only one in my team at the moment.
Oh yeah, you're the only one making all the money. You need to grow, skill, so you can have more people to train.
Yes.
Awesome, good to have you here today. All right, and that's all for today. So we are just about starting. So if you are here today, I'm super proud of you that you joined us today because these are the kind of conversations we are supposed to be having in Africa, right? We just saw practically how, imagine you are in a meeting with, let's say, with someone from the UK, from Hong Kong and the likes, and your network is tripping. You are going off and on. They don't understand that perspective that, oh, something is wrong with your network. They don't. So how do we scale that? How do we build it in such a way that that won't be a problem? They know that it is what it is and how can they let them just absorb us the way we are, right? So a quick story before I introduce my guest today. So while I was working with one company, my colleagues, we used to have meetings every Sunday, right? And I will join. I'm the only okay, not the only African, but then I'm the only one living in Nigeria. The other person was living, I think, Tel Aviv, right? So every day, every Sunday we'll have meeting, and my own is either my camera is blurry, they are barely seeing me, or my network is I'm tripping off, I'm going in and coming out, or I'm what is the other one they used to complain about? There's another one they used to complain about, or network will not even allow me to join that day, right? So it continued like that. I was looking so unserious, and I was not thinking, oh, am I really unserious? Do I not want this, right? Until one of my colleagues, Tamara, came to, it was South Africa. So the other company she was working with posted her there for a week or thereabouts. And when she came, immediately that Sunday she came, right? She was supposed to join our meeting, and do you know that she saw the shege I was seeing? And that was how I like, oh, it's not actually because I'm lazy. From there on, she couldn't, there are days she wouldn't be able to join because network won't even allow her to join. There are days she'll join and she'll have to put her camera off because network is not, the frequency is not enough for her to join for her to on her camera, right? So these are the issues we face as people, professionals in Africa, right? So how do you explain that? From there on, everyone began to see that, oh, it's not really Gloria that is doing that, and they started working with my time. So that's how I was able to navigate that.
Okay.
And for the next 7 days, we're going to be having this conversation like with various people, leaders in the industry, and let us just understand how they were able to navigate and be able to manage such. Okay, so let's go into what we have here today. All right, so this is not a webinar, like I said earlier. It's going to be like a conversation. We are having a conversation about what is affecting us and how we all can move forward together. And also how some people have been able to do it, right? I just shared my own experience, right? And how you can also move from where you are to where you ought to be, right? So we are here to talk about what is really going on in the customer success space across Africa. So in the next 7 days, you're going to be seeing people from Johannesburg. You're going to be seeing people from Ghana, right? We've not been able to confirm the person from Kenya yet. So if that is locked down, then you'll be able to see that person as well. So that's what we are going to be having today. So if you have questions, you're going to also bring it on. So from Lagos to Nairobi, Accra to Johannesburg, the CS community is growing. It's no longer like it used to be 5-7 years ago when I joined. I joined about 8 years ago. Then customer service was about 10 years ago, right? Yes. So it's no longer how it used to be. We are growing as a community, so we need to start having this conversation. But we are also faced with these real challenges, right? And the internet is one of it, infrastructure is one of it, and other challenges as well. So that is why this is what the conversation we are having tonight. And before I move on further, I will just introduce myself for people that are not familiar with who Gloria is. I won't go into details, right? Just for the sake of this program today. My name is Gloria Michael. A customer success manager I've been in the space for over roughly 9 years, and in the fintech space for about 10 years. And the founder of CX Men, the founder of Elevate Your Customer Success Career. So if you are trying to transition from where you are to where you want to be, if you are earning, let's say 500, 200, 300, and even lesser than that, and you want to transition to a role without coding, I help you to do that, right? And I've won few awards like the the Exceptional Customer Success Award. That was around 2002, and last year, 2024, I was nominated. I was one of the top customer success strategists, right? Yes. And this year, I was nominated by the CX Women in CX as one of the thought leaders in the space. So that's just a little about me, and also we can connect on LinkedIn. Sorry, there's this noise coming up from somewhere. Okay, I think it's sorted now. So that's just a little about me, all right? So as we go along, you get to like see me, talk to me, and just ask questions as well. So let me quickly talk about my host. I have two people in the house that will introduce themselves. We have Lillian in the house. Lillian, are you ready? Lillian Uma, she's my co-host for today. So she's here. She will introduce herself briefly. Then we go to not the other co-host today.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Lillian. I am tra My name is Lillian. I'm Gloria's co-host for today. I am a sales manager slash aspiring customer success manager. And yeah, anything else? I'm based in Enugu. Yeah.
The Coast City. Good to have you here. She's been very modest about being a customer. What did you say about being customer success, Kini Kini? What did you say about that?
I'm transitioning to customer
Oh,
success.
safe trip.
Yes.
All right, good to have you here today. And somebody said they cannot hear me. Onoma said that she's joining from the Center of Excellence. People in Lagos, they shall have this. Which one is Center of Excellence now? Good to have you here, Onome. Judith, are you here? You can please introduce yourself today to us. Let's meet you. Is she still here? Yes, her
Yeah.
network is okay. Awesome.
Hi, everybody. First of all, I'd like to say well done, Gloria, for organizing something like this. It is really brilliant and beautiful to watch. My name is Judith, as you rightly mentioned. I don't know why we always have to say my name is. It's by default, right?
Yeah.
So I have over 8 years experience in the CX space across multiple industries, fintech, lifestyle, transportation, and also logistics, right? Um, Insurance, e-commerce. Yeah, basically, I've like really shuffled around in terms of customer-facing roles. Um, Currently, I am leading operations with Senua. That's another beautiful thing about customer experience. It means pivoting is quite easy because you have in-depth knowledge of products, how to optimize, and where to actually gain more revenue, because that's the whole importance of creating the products to get people to use it and also stick to it, right? Yeah, I think that's all about me. And
Fantastic.
oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I am a founder of CS Outsourcing. So CS Outsourcing is a company born from really the love of people to really earn more. I just realized that a lot of people have been in the buckets, not earning really well, or undervalued, as the case may be, especially in Africa, when you're in a support role. You know that, oh, she's just gonna make some calls. So I just feel like we don't really present our values clearly. And having a space like sales assessing, anybody that works there knows their value. They know, oh, we are quite important. We are very important. Um, Basically, that's the whole idea of sales assessing for me, and I'm really happy that I'm doing that. So yeah, that's all about me.
That is fantastic. That's fantastic and good to have you here today. Good to have you here today. So let's just start by asking a simple question, right? Please, if you have your question, you can just ask either in the chat. We just have 1 hour today, and if there are other questions we're not able to take, then we'll move it or we'll figure it out. All right. But just by way of starting, right? What is one win you have this year? What is one win you've had this year in the customer success space? That is for
One
Judith.
One win I've had this year in the customer service space. Oh yeah, I've been nominated this year as one of the 100 CS customer success strategists. I think it was a good win for me. I mean, in terms of recognition, but personally, my goal was to really impact this year. And I had one free session that I brought in a lot of industry leaders with 10, 19 years, 15 years experience that walk through people journey of customer experience, not just success, being able to segment market so that people understand what customer success is, what customer support is, generally understanding the roles and their meaning. Because if you check clearly, especially Africa, we entertain what the roles are. So yeah, I try to like bring industry experts in the segment of customer experience and segmented all of those early phases for user experience or user journey, as the case might be. And it was such a beautiful journey, I must say. The last day of the event, I was really thrilled. That's like the highlight of my year. And I'm still like, when can I have so much time to create another? Because I was like, nah, that was really it for me. So yeah, that's a win for me this year.
That's awesome. And congratulations on your nomination. That is really good. I really like when people that are doing the work are being recognized for the amazing work they're doing, or the work of impact, right? Sometimes you're just doing it because you care and you want other people in the space. So that is really fantastic. Well done on that. And I'm
Thank
happy
you.
that you're speaking with us and for just sharing that with us, okay? All right. Lillian, what is one win you've had this year or you are having this year? Maybe you're still having it.
Well, the win I've had this year is, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah. The win I've had this year is attending your mentorship, because that gave me like a very full understanding on the things I need to learn, the role that a customer success manager plays and all that. So that was a very big win for me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And yes, one thing that I've really come to understand is most of us, especially around here, we grow our career by just being in one space. And by one space, we are doing just one thing, right? Like I was talking with, was it Daphne? And she has moved over the past 10 years. She has been in the customer success space and she has moved up. But here we don't move up as such because people are still stuck with doing support. And that is what I'm really up against. That, oh, well, just because you call it success doesn't mean it's customer success, right? What are you doing in that role? You need to be strategically helping your customers to win. That is when it's support, that is when it's success. But if every day you come to work, you are responding to emails, you are just doing tickets and all, you're still doing support no matter what you call it, right? And you need to move on from there. If you want to earn more, you have to do more, hone your skills. There's this thing I heard from, was it Jim Ron? If if you want to earn more, it's your skill that you're going to work on, not the company. So you may be thinking, oh, your company only pay 500K or 1 million naira. No, there are people earning more than that. And what are they doing to get that? So that is where you should be looking as a customer success manager. Don't just look at, oh, my role. They're already paying you for that role you are in, right? So if you want to move up, if you want to earn more, then you have to spread. What are the strategic ways? And this is now, anytime I use strategic or strategies, as if it's sounding like everybody's calling that word these days. But then I'm just trying to say that you look at what other people are not doing. Where is your company going to? That is what you should be looking at. So the company don't care that you are really solving support or tickets, right? Are you solving the problem from there for them as well? So that is just like by the way. And one win for me this year, I think it will be launching the switch to tech as a customer success manager, right? I've had that and it's a long story. I'm not going to tell you today, right? So launching that and just being able to have it in the space where people can actually benefit is one thing that has been it for me. The other one is the nomination, but it's not as such because when we hear people launching or having an online course, is you don't see us factoring Nigeria, Africa in it. You just hear people from other climes doing it, and they don't tailor it to what you need, right? They are just putting it off from their own perspective. I know so many people that don't do QBR. There's noise coming from somewhere. Sorry. Okay. Yes, and I think that is one thing that I've done this year that's really like that's a win that I can say with my chest that oh I did it. I did it. Not just for me, right? Not just what I'm going to get, but then we can say that oh this is from my own perspective. This is from my own pain point. just how was I able to move from customer service in the microfinance that I was being owed salaries, right, to being in the customer success space from fintech to other industries, right? So that is just what I was able to pour into the course, and I'm really happy that I did it, right? So yeah, that is one win I will say. If anybody wants to talk about their win with us, you can just drop it in the chat and I'll definitely read it out. All right. All right. So let's go further. Today, our topic is from customer support to customer service, so to customer success. So let me ask Judith first. What was your journey? Do you have your own journey from support to success, or was it just success, then customer experience? How was it for you? Because I know a lot of people here want to hear from us and just maybe learn.
Yeah, I think mine was from customer support to, I mean, largely, I really use customer experience lately, not customer success as per word, because of my journey kept like evolving from company to company, right? So I would say my experience started from customer service. Like I said, the terminologies are just so a lot, but let me just hold from customer success, from customer support to customer success. And again, I think perspective also differ and growths are not really like saying from support to this. It's not exactly what growth is to me in terms of definition, or from where to where, because the role I was holding before becoming an operations manager was a support role as well. And I've held like a global success role before holding a support role again. So to me, um, that's why I'm like trying to find the words that really encompass from here to here. To me, growth, I see it as actually understanding the space where you are and what every role requires you to do and how is growth or what definition of growth that is for you. So in as much as I've grew from support to success and I went back to support again, but in different capacity. Um, so generally, I wouldn't be able to say from this to this, but rather it's been like, so it might not be the same for everybody. And it just definitely terms people's growth differs again. But yeah, it was just like, if there's a word like this, that's why I'm using my hands, basically. So it's really in a cyclic form for me because I grew from support to success. I came back to support, then I did growth before I'm now doing operations. So basically, but there is a different capacity and also different different sectors. And I think that is the most enjoyable factor for me, or why I keep going back to some roles is I just really want to one day sit back and say, oh, this does not work like this in fintech. It works like this when you're dealing with people in transportation system, or when you're dealing in sectors in terms of e-commerce, or you're dealing in terms of, yeah, just like the bucket like that just makes me quite excited. Like they are very different demography, and then you can't actually have them in different roles. So if you're doing lifestyle, I largely think you can't actually infuse support for lifestyle. What happens on lifestyle is basically success. So there are other roles again that you can't see success. I sometimes if I hear you say you're in an e-commerce, unless you have like a top funnel and you say, oh, customer success in e-commerce, I keep wrapping my head. How does that work? Because it supports. Because how many users do you have and you want to like really tailor their growth as well and all of that. So it just varies on what exactly the sector you are and what exactly that role is and how excited you are doing those roles. So I think my growth has exactly been the definitive that we currently have at the moment. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome, fantastic. Thank you so much for just downloading that. I like the fact that you mentioned that growth is not linear, is somehow depend on where you are. It can be cyclical, right? You cannot just be, you cannot just say, oh, when we're younger, you say from primary school to secondary school to university and the likes. It's not like that in the workspace. So you just have to define, that is what the last thing you said, how happy you are doing what you're doing. So if you're happy with whatever you're doing right now, that is enough. That is what really matters. It's not like, oh, I'm in the customer success space. Where is that where you want to be? Is that what you want to be doing? Is that what you want to be earning? At the end of the day, right, just know your bottom line. What define your own success and just like move from there. What is success to you? Success can just be you having a family and just doing your support role for, let's say, Microsoft or for a fintech, and that's okay. Don't just jump onto the hype of saying, oh, I need to have the success on my title and all, right? So I think I really love that. Well done. Thank you so much for that. Lillian, do you have any question before we go on?
No, none yet. None yet. I'm just taking a few notes. I'll come back with questions.
All right, awesome. Okay, so let's just move further with this question. I still know that we have a lot of people that want to transition here. So today, this day one, we have like other days to talk about the big things. I don't want us to even use big words today because it can be a lot in customer success. So for someone here right now, what are the practical steps someone can take, someone with only soft skills to become, is it job ready in the success, experience, or support space?
Okay, is that for me?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think one of the overlooked skills that people already in support roles actually have that is not properly tilted or honed is the ability to internalize or take every hit in in the space, right? You don't hear anybody say, "Oh, does she have the ability to actually stay calm amidst chaos?" Right? And that is something that we have in support because you hear somebody say a lot of things. I don't know. We are just trained to actually look at it from a perspective of heart, from a perspective of the user's shoes. And that's something that many of the people in industries don't exactly have, even some success. Because sometimes if you are managing success or in terms of having like relationship with your clients, there are some things you don't really take because you are privileged actually to get to that stage with that. But imagine handling a support role, you can't actually do that because that touch point is very fragile, right? But success, you can actually train people to really work the way you really want them to. So I think one particular skill that you have that will enable you navigate whatever role or whatever you really want to do is the skill to be able to internalize or handle with empathy or internalize every hit that comes to you. Then product knowledge. So those are like key skills that I think that could take you or you could navigate any growth trajectory you'd want. The product skill, empathy, and also a can-do spirit, especially when you're starting. So I hear, especially, I don't know, I was ranting yesterday, especially, I don't want to use Gen Zs because Gen Zs will be upset. So because they can attack. So let me not use people, the ones that are coming from you guys. Just so you just believe that you just need to grow, like from A to B to C. Sometimes growth is not like that. You need to actually follow the process. Sometimes do associate roles, sometimes do those internships, sometimes do things that are not exactly your field. Volunteer, right? Oh, I want to do a research. Oh, I want to do that as well. That really expand your skills that also give you in-depth knowledge of the products at which you're working on. And I could use myself as an example. Everywhere I've worked, I've done like different projects. And what that helped me with is I had like in-depth knowledge of the products. And it just literally, when you just speak to me about the product, I have answer, even if there's no like FAQs for it, but because I just have like the library of that product and what we are thinking as a company that just help me placate, for lack of a better word, I'm using placate, a user by saying, oh, we are working on ABCD because I've already like, I know what we're working on because I have assisted and I have actually know where the trajectory of the whole company is. So again, just for better context, I think empathy, I think in-depth product knowledge for where you're working with, and then a can-do spirit would really help you to navigate literally anything, I believe. So yeah, there are like a lot of list of things that you could do, but I feel that if you try to know the product where you're working at, you also try to do the work. To do the work. It will really help, and then empathize. It's not everything that is fights. Let's empathize. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for listing those things. And I totally agree with what you said about ability to internalize things, right? Especially if you're working in the support space. Quick example or quick instance. While I was working as a customer success associates are, I think it was around 2018 or thereabout, right? There was a customer I had to deal with, and this customer was sending like hot insults. There are different kind of insults. One like, "Are you okay?" They'll use the F word. Those ones are okay, right? But this one, this man was, I think he sat down and wrote like a pistol of insult and sent it to us. And I'm like, okay, I looked at it, I didn't even know what to say, right? So as a CSM or a customer support person, I think we don't talk about this enough, that you're going to have insult, you're going to be faced with so many things, right? So do you have that capacity to internalize? Can you absorb? That is really important. Okay, so while in as much as you want to get into the space and grow, is also like have the capacity, build capacity, right? It's so important. And another thing for me is, I know we all talk about products knowledge. Yeah, that has been really good. And that is where, especially when you're doing support and all that, is really good in it, like if you are, so that whenever a customer is asking you any question, it shouldn't look as if you don't know what you're talking about. It shouldn't be like, oh, this one doesn't even know anything, self, and she's working here. You now look so incompetent. So beyond that, right now, what I'm realizing is people knowledge, right? So if there's any skill you need to acquire as a CSM, aside from the other things she has mentioned, is people knowledge. You need to understand people. And that even in the secular world, they'll tell you that if you want to succeed people, I think it was also David Oyedepo that said that people like whatever you want, people understand, people read people, even internally and externally. That is your customers internal and your customers external. That is those your colleagues and the people that are paying your company, right? So you need to have like knowledge, be able to just understand the emotions, what they need, and how to just communicate with people. I think that is what we are lacking as well. So if you want to grow, get promotions and all, I think it's really important for you to, while you have product knowledge, you should also have people knowledge. That is where customers' success is going to. So you have to be strategic about it. That is what helps you to like, oh, this person, I don't have to call them by in the morning. I'll call them later. The tone of voice you use for one person is not the one you use for the other. Sometimes you are being jovial with your customer, the other person, you just go straight to the point because you understand the kind of person the kind of person he or she is. So I believe if you want to get into the space and grow also, you should have a bit of people knowledge while you have product knowledge and so many other skills. Their communication is also very important. Temitope, I see here. Can I give you host is it access they call it, so that you'll be able to help with people coming in, please?
Yes, I'm on the call. You can just go ahead and do that.
All right, thank you so much. Please forgive me. It's just a little bit distracting. Try to get people in and all right, thank you. All right, do we have people in the house that have questions at all? I think I saw a comment from Janet. Let me read that out there. We'll go to our next question. Please keep your questions coming. All right. And okay, over the past 4 years, I started out in customer support, transition into client support within a B2B organization. And this year, one of my win was to move into customer relationship management. Absolutely. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. That's really beautiful. So it's not just a straightforward, it's not linear. It's just you growing. Define what growth is to you and just like be happy with it, okay? All right, so let's move further to a critical question. So I know you've been in this space for quite some time. So what are hiring managers looking for in customer success candidate? Because I have a lot of people that are currently looking for jobs, and I'm like, okay, it seems one, most scripts people use is what is online is majorly people from the UK, the US, and the likes. So, and imagine somebody in Africa trying to copy that. It's really not it. So, in your own opinion, what are are hiring managers currently looking at in a customer success candidate they want to hire? Let's say for a startup. Judith.
Yeah, for a startup, if I am hiring, I don't know why I really like to personalize this because um people like differ in their hiring methods, and sometimes we believe that I want to use myself in hiring, especially because I have been hiring also, like my company hires for people as well. To me, first thing I look at is self-starters. And it's basically the kind of questions I would have asked you. And sometimes I just do basic communication, right? And then if I'm working in startups, if you're working with a startup, you need self-starters. You need people that would help in terms of because they would juggle a lot. You don't need anybody that has a mentality, I want my JD sent. There will be a JD for you, right? But you need to come with the spirit of can do. And my experience has been in a startups, and I know that today you're answering emails, tomorrow you're on WhatsApp, to next morning on call, and which I understand because if we're having 5 people call and we're having 4 WhatsApp and we're having 10 live chats, so you expect that CEO to have 4 people, it's not possible. So you need to juggle. So first thing I think, especially if you're starting off, there are steps to take, especially when you get to the stage where you've grown your career. Because I mean, I don't think somebody like Gloria or myself would, or when you're being asked what you want to do, you want to say what are your expectations because you already have your outline goals and what you really want to do. You'd easily say, at the moment in my career, this is what I need, or this is how I'm looking at where I'm going to, right? Those are like the stages that you are. But if you really want to start, you really have to be like, well, what are the expectations of this role? To me, it's kind of questions you ask me after I've asked you, okay, what are the expectations of the company? What are the expectations of me in this role? So it gives me that perception that this person is looking to deliver, is looking to say, oh, how do I? It's not more of what can I do? Give it to me. So I look for self-starter personally. But I hear people say that there are things that you need to put in your CV, which is a cute thing to do when you're reviewing CV. It means that you check the JD, job roles are there, what is expected of you. And luckily for us, we now have AI, but you should please put like your voice as well. You tailor your CV in terms of what the JD is. What exactly they need you to do, tailor that CV so that when they're saying the strength, you're being handpicked. So that's basically how I would run my process. And I don't do like 5 stages.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if I just see your CV, I have a conversation with you, to be honest, next thing is the email. And I don't know, because it might sound cliche for some people, but I use this a lot. Sprinkle blood of Jesus or whatever thing you pray on, because I use instincts a lot. The moment I come to a room with somebody, I don't know, it works for me. And I don't know for any other person. I feel it in my spirit some sort of way. So yeah. So yeah. So I'm not saying that it's the normal practice, but me, I like it works like magic. I just like I know that I want to work with this person and it's good. And it has always been working. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. So please, guys, you have that's expo right there. Sprinkle the blood of Jesus. And if you're not a Christian, sprinkle whatever blood you think you know. Yeah, that's actually it. I don't think interview should take like 5 steps and you're meeting everybody in the organization, right? You just and it's not really about the technical aspect of it. I've seen people with technical like excellence and they don't have it, right? So it's not usually about that. And for me, when I'm doing interviews, these days I don't even do send mails and all that. I'm currently hiring for marketing and sales. And I just called one lady. I called her. We're supposed to have a meeting today. I just called her. Like, I don't have that time to say, oh, we're drafting an email, then we'll now do follow up. No. Are you available for this role? Can we have a meeting next month, next Monday, or it does it work for you? And that is it. So if you are currently, if you want to get into the space, the best thing for you to do is aside sprinkling the blood of Jesus and other blood that you know, I think you should prepare, right? Especially if if a startup is in the space for like 5 years, 4 years, if I'm in the space for like that time, I want someone that knows a bit about my organization. What do you know about that company? Do deep research. Are they looking for funding currently? What has the the CEO, what are they doing? HR wants to hear things like that. I don't really care about those things, but then HR, I think they are still digging it. They want to tell the organization that they've drained you, right? I think that's what it is. But then understand that, do your thorough research about them, and just try to understand the role you are coming in. Don't just I don't, of course, at this point in my life, I don't lie on my CV anymore. So whatever you're writing, just try to have a deep understanding of it. Don't just put QBR and you've never heard or done it. So I don't think that really works. So please, whatever you're putting on your CV, be ready to defend it. And how can you defend? If you learn, go to YouTube, join my class. You're going to learn a lot about that and you'll be able to deliver on the job. So that is what I feel you can also do aside from what Judith has added. Do we have any question in the house before we go further? I saw Lambert earlier. Hi, Lambert. Are you still here? Everyone, Sally, how are you? Good to have you guys in the class. Oh, not class. I'm used to having classes, so forgive me. To have fireside chat. All right. Good to have you guys here. Do we
Hi,
have
everyone.
any? Hey. You want to say a word of prayer?
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Just be good. Just be good in the CS space. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Be good. Be excellent at what you do. Everyone, Stella, will you be able to unmute right now, or should we come back to you later? Okay, so let's just move on. Probably have him later. So I think I want us to go back a bit for those that are still like very new. Some people like, oh, Gloria, you've been talking about success, you've been talking about experience and all. What is really the difference? I've talked about it a lot of times, right? But then I want to hear from Judith, like what is the difference? How do you differentiate customer support, especially now you've been on the role, customer experience or customer success? What is like one or two things you can say about those two things?
How do I differentiate support and also customer success? I mean, the basic one we know, oh, support is reactive and success is proactive. We all know that, right? But that is the answer. So let me just try to sprinkle the. But yeah, it's literally the answer at like reactive and proactive. But as we progress, support also need a bit of proactive steps as well. Meaning, especially when you're in front of a user, you have anticipated a lot of cues or a lot of questions that they've asked. But yes, support is reactive and then success is proactive. This is you sitting down to design how to retain a user, sitting down to design how to generate more revenue for the company you're working on. But if I'm working in support, I do that a lot. If you give me a role, I like to act it, please, so that I can use time for something else. Like, and I say it all the time, like, just stay in your role. I'm not saying that you should not help. Don't come and use my words against me. Help. But help. But if you hire me to just handle support, I will handle support, meaning I'll give you data. Very important. Don't just be like, oh, I'm to answer questions. What are they saying? How does that data actually come back to the company? It should be very, very useful to the company. It'd be like when marketing are having a meeting, they have to think that there's a support person that knows what the users are saying. Don't just be like, okay, hey, we've answered people. A lot of people are doing ABCD. What does a lot mean? So you are in a very strategic position to actually give back real-time feedback to the organization. So that's how I see support, and that's what strength of support is. Success, you are thinking for the customer, which is why I believe success is there. We have a product. Who are you selling the product to? To a user. And who is a user? The user wants to use a product. So your job as a customer success is ensuring that the initiative that this user is coming with, I said quickly, by the way. So let's say that I'm selling my quickly. Let it be like the thinking that the person that's selling my quickly should have is there's no sun in it. So that is you ensuring that production has no sun and ensuring that when the user eats this quickly, does not actually experience any sun in it and actually would have to go more steps to get more things. You in success, we're gonna have to think about what and what can actually pair with quickly. Can go and say, I think it's high time we bring in Gary because I can cross-sell to this my youth. So that is your job as a success person. It's not like, oh, I just want this user to keep bringing revenue. It's you thinking about the company goal to grow. So it is a lot more than we really think. It's like, oh, proactive, yes, but proactive in revenue generating. And
Absolutely.
again, I always say this before I drop my mic. Definitions varies and it is okay, especially because the world revolves and there's not like a definitive thing, but the general term that we all know is reactive, proactive, but they are equally very important and they are very, very vital that people on those roles really airing their opinion and airing their voice, because that's the only way a product can grow. Because somebody's thinking about revenue and you're thinking about saying that, oh, people don't like it. Those data need to be. So yeah, that's what I think.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Ermonsela, you okay? All right. Let me read what he said. My advice is to have an understanding of SaaS, absolutely, and the touch points that your customer have to go through to achieve success. Absolutely. That is what Judy was talking about. You need to understand your touch points. Customer success is about a lot of things, but at the back of your mind, have the understanding you are solving problem. And for your organization, you are helping them to sell. Have that. Maybe sell is not the word. The word should be revenue, right? You have to make sure customers are coming back at every point. Your function is not to respond to ticket. And in my role as a CSM, I've had to do reactive and proactive together. I don't want you to just follow LinkedIn and, oh, customer success is not reactive. Customer success is proactive, is strategic. We're not tactical, right? Those are definitions and we all know them. But for your organization, is this different? You are going to do what the organization wants you to do, and you have to from there move up and like, oh, I think this is what we should be doing. First, you have to like please them, then you have to like bring in an argument why you want them to move forward from being reactive to proactive and why they should uh even hire more hands, right? So those are really great points. There's something I wanted to say, but okay, there's a question here for us from Lambert. Okay, quick question. Outside the original role, how do you handle a situation when an organization plays an extra with sales? Now it's not just for selling, but an entire sale plus CS role. Fantastic. It happen, sha. All right. Yeah. So, Judith, do you want to
Let me
go
take
with that
that.
question?
Yes. I think I answered it different when I said that define your role, especially somebody like Lambert. Hello, sir. You would define it though. You'll be like, oh, so I want to explain that this is also sales so that we are aligned. Especially when we come to KPIs. I really hate it when you don't say that I'm not doing my job. So if you're adding sales to it, maybe we'll have a different KPI to it before like we put like an add-on on me, because I feel these things are two different roles. And if you want to marry it into one person, and I think I can do it, then it's fine. But I think it's a conversation you should have to say, and if you think it's something you can take up, fine, you take it up. But well, when you're placed in a situation where you can't say no, you should just put in your hand. To me, I just want to be honest, I like to have clear conversations in terms of expectations and what you want me to do. And again, we need to be empathetical with the company, because sometimes they just need to add some roles to you due to capacity or where the company is at that time. And if you have the network to take up sales roles, you should. Let me give you my cheap code is I know things I'm not good at. When I realize I'm not good at this thing, I get somebody pay, do it for me, and I understand it. And then from there, I pick it up. So sometimes you don't have the skills. Look for somebody that has a skill and don't be, I'm already here. No, you're never here in terms of learning. That's personally to me. You're never like here. So I can pick up anybody and be like, if I realize you're this good, I'm like, oh, hey, I've noticed you're this good. Come and help me do ABCD. I need to finish a project. And when you do that, I have a blueprint and I understand it. So tomorrow I can't say I don't. So sometimes you don't necessarily have to say a no. It's just weighing the pros and the cons. That's for me, but I've said no multiple times as well.
Thank you so much for that. Lambert, hope that was okay for you. I've had to do, and that is why I think I mentioned that when you are joining a company, it's not really about your role. You just have to like, there are so many factors. If it's a startup, there are so many things you have to take up. And when you take those role up, you have to be good at them. And I use it to my advantage. So if you employ me to do support and now I'm doing marketing, no, I'm not going to say I'm not going to do marketing, but I know my KPI and I also know what I'm bringing in terms of marketing, right? So maybe during promotion or performance review and all, I'm going to mention that, oh, because you hired me for CS doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about, sorry. Okay, because so if you're in a role that they are asking you to do another role, fine, except you can't do that, except your workload is just not, can't take that. You can just take that on for now and just have like, oh, when I was doing that marketing, that was why I was able to increase salary, right? But then if it's something you cannot do, just try to like, oh, we need more hands here, especially if you're in the leadership role. You can just negotiate with the company or with the leadership and your team manager and all that to just make sure that you bring it home. But then there's no outright no because they hired you to be like, oh, you are rejecting it. But then any no you are going to say, have this at the back of your mind. Any no you are going to say, oh yes, back it up with data, back it up with why you're not able to do it at the moment. Can we have more hands? Can we maybe be doing shifts and all, right? So I think that will work. We have another question. We have few minutes before we go. So just while you're doing sales, make sure it's reflecting on your pay. It's so important. I'm all about my money. I don't joke with that. I love to do work, but please don't joke with my money. So I will do the work first too, until it's now like time to like, oh, I did this, I did XYZ, and I think I should be getting this. Is when you don't comply. That is when there was a time I had to resign. I didn't even tell them. They were owing me about 2 months or thereabout. And because I can be loyal like that. But when it comes to my money and you are living large and I'm not, I'm like, I just left. Please don't kill me. Right. So you just need to learn how to have this conversation. It's not really a no. I'm okay. Somebody have like Debbie said, hi, sorry I joined in late. Thanks for organizing this space. And I love the response and insights shared so far. I'm learning so much. I don't know if this has been asked already. However, CS is quite new to the African workspace. I have a few questions. Oh, few. All right. Number one question, are there communities for customer success people in Africa and Nigeria at this time? Okay. Please, Judith, help me note the questions down so that you'll be able to help me respond as well. The next question is, how are we advocating for customer success in more startup business in Nigeria, Africa, and scaling this in the workspace? Are there organizations currently championing CS in Nigeria and you encourage more CS people to apply to? Thanks again for your time. Okay. Thank you for asking the question. These are really crucial questions and we want to answer. Lillian, your hand is up.
Yes, yes. I just want to ask Judith one question. Like, how do you do your job like diligently as a CS when you don't have like enough data and enough tools?
How do you do your job diligently as a CS person when you don't have enough data and enough tool? First off, I don't think you can actually work without data. So maybe we'll define what you mean by data. What is data to you? Just so that I
Okay.
can understand the basis of your question in terms of data.
Okay, I mean like as a startup, as a freshly new company, yes.
Okay. So as a new startup, you don't have like a user base. How do you start to do your job diligently before you start having users? So you can start developing SOPs. You could start, so that's where the proactive tests begin with. So what is the product? Think about how do you want to grow the product? How are you guys looking at the product as a company? Develop FAQs as well, because I mean, you develop FAQs as well as a CS person. I don't think it's generally your job, but I don't know what I'm thinking because I'm basing it from where I was employed in QuickBuzz as a customer success person. I was first employed, but I didn't have people on my team. I didn't have supports before I had supports. I had to do all of those things. So first thing I did was know the tool I'm going to use. I knew I just developed SOPs in terms of how we're going to communicate across the countries. I developed that, and I also developed just syncs, product team, marketing team. When are the syncs that we're going to have together? So I just really did like a total process flow for my role before we now started like becoming live, and then things keep changing. Yeah, I think in a startup, you just keep wearing a lot of hats when you are in a customer facing role.
Yeah.
So basically, that's how I just like navigated everything.
Is that good?
That helps.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Judith,
I
for
think I
that.
didn't touch tools. So for tools as well, I don't advise startups to run to start with tools. You need to now just do your surveys. And if you're just handling CX, I think everybody should know data right now. If you're in CX, know data. You can build a mini CRM for yourself based on the type of company you are, right? You can just like be able to gauge it from there before you move. So I don't go and just like start paying a lot of money because they are not cheap for
Yeah.
tools, while you can actually coordinate those things on basic Excel. That way you just keep the bonds a little, especially when startups are, they just try to think that success are like, oh, this particular department is burning money, whereas they are just investing in the future. So just help them invest in that future in more like a minimal way and say, oh, we need a tool now, we need automations now. Some things you could just like make calls that they are coming, especially when you have just minimal guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And if you are the first CSM in a startup, what I usually would do is, it's also for the marketing team, understand the customer profile. That's the first thing I do first. Like, aside from every other thing, have your customer profile. Who are they? Where do they live? So that you'll be able to know how to communicate with them, be able to like know so many things about them. That is where you start. Then from there you can now understand, oh, what platform. Sometimes the organization will say, oh, what tools should we buy or should we subscribe to? Then you can suggest the cheaper ones. There's Zoho that really works well. There is I think Talkative that works well as well. Those ones are not really expensive. You can subscribe for as low as 15, 20K, right? Then don't just jump to Salesforce, please. I beg in the name of God. Don't jump to Salesforce because you're already somewhere, or what is it, the other one, hotspot. No, please don't just do that. Just walk around. If you want to do support, I think the best right now for me is just do basic chats. Chatbots really are like, they are the in thing right now, and they can just have your conversation in one place. That is, you're in a very small startup. Then if you have money to like splurge, you can now go to Zendesk and the likes, right? But then that is where you should have it from. And let's also, when you're joining in an organization as a CSM, no matter where you are, just make sure you let them know that you know what you're doing. So like she mentioned SOPs, have like frameworks and so many other things in place that we can just show them why this is why I'm doing it. Always have the why at the back of your mind, not about money, yeah, sometimes, but then have the why at the back of your mind. Okay, I see two people's hand. Muibite her hand is up, and I think Obed is also here. Hi, Obed, how are you doing? Good to have you here. Obed will be joining us, I think, on the 30th or 31st or thereabouts.
Yes, Gloria. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just enjoying the chat.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Good to have you.
thank
Do you
you.
have any suggestion or response to the question that was asked?
Yeah, okay. Well, in fact, the previous question that was asked, I had a submission, but unfortunately, you didn't see my hand. The little I wanted to add
Oh,
had
okay.
to do with the agent documenting his or her contribution. So the agent should be able to track his or her performance over time, like the CS metrics. So like CSAT, time resolution, and stuff like that. Put it down, put it on paper, and then your sales, the KPIs for the sales, you should also be able to put them down so that, just as you said, when it is time to review your compensation, when it is time for you to negotiate for recognition, you can rely on that. Because if you have to rely on your mind, your memory, it may fail you. So it's good to always have these things on paper so that when it is time to negotiate, it would come in handy.
Absolutely, yes. Document, document, document. I can't even say that enough. No matter how tiny, simple, small it is, document because you're going to forget. Thank you so much for adding that. Okay, the last question we're going to be having before we go into the chat for today is from Muibat. Hi, Muibat.
Okay, so the question I want to ask is like a clarity call for me. So the startup I work, I'm the first years person, so I had to do a lot of documents, frameworks, and everything. So it made me feel like I'm tilting towards customer operations more. And because I had background in projects, project management tools like that, so I've been trying to learn some automation tools better to be able to speed up a lot of processes for chatbot and also help in support aspect of it. But then I'm now feeling like, am I not getting distracted if I now move away to automation? Because the automation I'm trying to learn is quite deep. So it's not going to be distracting me learning automation. I know it's going to add to my skills, but then I don't want to be distracted moving away from customer success at the same time. But I just want to add some other skills that will also make me level up in my role.
Okay, fantastic question. Okay, well, Judith, do you want to respond to that because of our time?
Yes, I will love to just add a bit. It's not that I just wanted to ask Mui, but I believe that what you are doing right now is what is needed at the moment for your.
Yes.
So I think you are where you are, where you'll be more feasible, and there you have just like a lot of add-ons when you now start having your role being feasible. So I don't know if this helps. But I'm just trying to like wrap my head around where exactly the question is at, because it's not like you are leaving CS, because you just rightly mentioned that it's not so much that it's happening at the moment, correct?
Yes, yes. And I
But
have a lot of time to also practice with the product at hand.
Sorry?
Like practice the automation things that I'm learning with the product. So but now the automation world is now quite big, and I don't want it to be like I'm now focusing on learning automation and want to get jobs for just automation and now leaving CS. And which CS is what I want to do.
Okay, because I don't know if it's like you're in a, I mean, Gloria can jump in because I believe that you are where you are right now because that's where you are needed, right? Unless I'm not getting it rightly, not like you are shutting yourself out of where you are supposed to be. You are in a company, and at the moment, they need somebody to handle that, which may be where you are supposed to be at, the capacity. They don't really have a lot there. So you are where you are needed, if you ask me, and that's the right place to be. Unless you are being asked now or your own job is lagging and you're doing something else, then you can say, oh, I need to like go back to my main focus. Unless you don't trust yourself. Like me like this, if I like something else, I will move. I don't care that the first love, I move.
Yeah,
So,
there's a prospect of the money in that side might be more than success.
so everybody should choose his hustle. I have release clause. So if somebody say that, that's why you see I've been changing career like this from support to success. I did not say the sprinkle habit is maybe the money. I not say it is, but I say maybe because it's maybe most likely. So yeah.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Thank you so much for that. So for me, I'll say no skill is wasted. There are so many things that I used to be in operations like way back. I don't want to start listing what I've done in my life. You guys will be so surprised, but I probably will tell you one day. So no skill is wasted. So that's just the first thing. If automation is what you want to learn, it's fantastic. If you can't go in deep because of what you have, it's still okay. But at the end of the day, you have to define what is important to you. It's not what is important to the organization is good, but then organizations, they can bounce you any day. Just know that at the back of your mind, if anything comes up, you're going to probably be the first they're going to bounce. So what is important to you right now? in your career, in your life, and all. So once you define that, you now know, oh, if it's money, then you probably it's okay for you to change your job, right? I don't believe the market is saturated, right? So if give yourself time, if what they are expected or what is expected of you right now is not what you're willing to give, then you have to move find a path. All right. So at the end of the day, what is success to you and what is important to you? And on your road, if you decide to stay there, you have to give value. So if that is in form of automation, then you have to go full in and give value. You don't know what is going to happen in the next 5 years, in the next 2 years. AI is here to stay, so automation as well. So you need to probably weigh your options and see, okay, if this is required, should I just move? And if not, do I want to stay and move and just like go with the flow? So define that for yourself. Then from there, make a decision. All right. Well done. Okay, that's all the
Thank
question
you.
we have from the live. Okay. Oh, Lambert's hand is up. So can we have Lambert? Then we go. Please, Judy. It's just we're so sorry about the time. We are overshooting. So forgive
I'm
me.
sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to add to the question from you, but so I think we are for me personally, I'm also in the line of automation. There are some roles, CS roles you even want to go into, and they ask you, can you do this? Can you do this? So somehow you try to like think outside the box. Can you automate this? So automation is actually, since AI came on board, so we are trying to like automate a lot of processes. They ask you, I have one head of product, oh, can you do this? Can something do this? Instead of us paying this amount, can we automate this? So you just try to like learn. You are not still moving away from CS. You are still doing CS, but you are trying to automate the CS processes using maybe third-party tools or your CRM tool. Most of the CRM tool now has automations. I mean, of that workflows and automation. That's where that's where my own strong hand is at the moment now, and I'm trying to like build on it as well. So just take your time, get the automation. So just take your time, get the automation. Oh, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I can automate. So there are also you can use different tools. Zapier is also one of them and other things. Okay, how can you send an automated response to this person instead of the agent to like respond to queries all the time? You can actually automate few of these queries, right? Then you just take up the main task for the day and you're done. You don't need to stress about it. Just once you put in this automation into process, then you're good to go.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well done. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so we have to just like move very fast. I have two questions before we go into the chat. How boot camps and mentorship program help people to close the knowledge gap? And okay, so let's just finish with this question, then we'll go into the chat, then I'll ask my last question because I don't want us to just stay here all day. But before then, Maria Kintu. Thanks for joining us, and you're joining from Kampala, Uganda. Good to have you here, and I hope you've learned one or two things, and hopefully we'll see you at the end of, like, just come and learn as much as possible. All right, so the question I was asking Judith is how, like, we hear a lot about boot camps and mentorship programs and all that. Does that really like close the knowledge gap? What do you say?
Now I'm thinking if I should answer it politically or how I feel. I have to say it all out.
Okay.
I feel that we are not doing the most. I just want to be really brutal everywhere I am. We're not doing the most. There's always like a disconnect, even in terms of people that are in higher um spaces or people with opportunity. There are a lot of gatekeepers. I find it very confusing myself, and I'm happy to see that people are beginning to create groups or boot camp for people to learn, especially in Nigeria or in Africa. In Nigeria, most of the countries I have, African countries I work with, I think Nigeria the least pay as well. I just feel like there'll be a time that if we are talking together, nobody will come and tell me to hire. I mean, maybe because I'm doing hiring, somebody will just be in his house and tell me to hire somebody for 50K. right? And if I don't hire, somebody else hires.
Yeah.
So I think we are not doing the most as even people in the maybe top management. I see somebody in CS telling me that I did it now, I can get somebody for 70K when I'm saying my list pay is 200K. I'm sorry, and you're telling me, yeah, you CS. So I feel we are not doing the most as an organization or as Nigeria, or we're not an organization yet, but just simple, like if you are maybe not, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel like there's room for more. There's room for more. Just like how marketers have not like start rating themselves. If you want to hire a marketer in this Nigeria, you have a budget. I'm not even joking with you. You're not going to just want to start something. And it started from one person. And I think it's just like 3 years ago that their pay rent is up. Because basically then they don't give them this kind of high salaries. They just started like shooting themselves up, telling people what they actually bring to the table. And I think it's high time we start doing it, because marketers are now starting to actually defend their jobs by actually putting our job together. So I feel yeah, we'll get there, but for now we are trying, if I'm being honest, compared to how or where we are 2 years ago. But I feel boot camp, for one, I would say first hand experience, the course we took this quarter, like Q1, at the end of the session, the feedback alone made me sleep well at night. Somebody was like, hey, from here to here, I can see some things that I've learned, and I know how to really go back and reflect it back in my company. It made me personally very happy, and it just feels that those are just like 26%. So if we can do times 10, that we'll have like a lot of people
Absolutely.
represent. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I think that's so valid. What do I think about boot camps and mentorship and all? Let me start with boot camp. I don't have any problem with that. But the only problem I have is somebody with just customer service experience. Somebody, maybe you'll be doing customer service at the bank. All you do is you are responding to customers. And now because you think, oh, customer success is another fancy name for customer service, you are now putting an boot camp and you're now teaching everybody. At the end of the day, people are not going to get quality, right? So that is where I have problem. If your boot camp is all about bringing quality people, people that have been there, done that, I don't have problem with it. It's a good place to start. Like it's a good, especially when you have practical projects, like you just have simulations and all. I think it's a good place to start. And for mentorship, yes, please, if you want a mentorship or if you want a mentor, go with someone that has been in the space as well. Don't let anybody boo you, and at the end of the day, they're not doing you any good. Just follow who know road, right? I think that is what I'll say in that, like to that. And the last thing I'll say that Judith also mentioned is the salary part. I had one event last year. I think that is what even better the elevate your customer success career in Nigeria, right? Because everybody just waking, organizations are just waking up and like, oh, today they'll close their eyes and like, oh, Gloria, I'm going to pay you 250K. Next tomorrow they'll wake up again. Then I say, oh, we're going to pay you 100. From where to where? Do you know the work I'm doing? Everybody just feeling like, oh, is it not just support? Is it not talking to people? No, it's not just that. You need to be able to package and talk about yourself. So that don't allow anybody to just shut you off. Know your value at the end of the day. Anywhere you go, to hold yourself, your head high, and talk about your skill set, right? So that is what I'll tell you. And it's so important that we are having this conversation and be able to like round it up. Let's have I think I did a survey. Was it early last year or this 2023? I can't remember. And most people are earning below 500K. Like, how are you doing customer? Do you know how tedious, how I don't even know how to describe it. It is it is draining, and you just get burnt out as a customer support person. You cannot just be all you are getting is like one salary that cannot take you. That's why I'm just very passionate about when we are talking about salary, because the work is not small. If you are doing proper support, know that it's not small. You are doing support in your sleep, right? So you just need to be able to, and we need to have like a roundtable amongst the CS leaders and just have a holistic conversation about salary review. And I think they had that in India. What's this guy's name? I met him on LinkedIn and we got talking there. That's how they were able to like boost it up there. So we too can also have it there, so that you don't just wake up and somebody is paying 40K. Some people just tell you they can even hire somebody that is doing WAEC. Okay, auntie, go and hire now. All right, please know your value. All right, so thank you everyone. Let's go to the chat and we'll be done for today. We have like so many questions. Judy, hope you're ready and hope you have our time.
Oh, actually, I was shocked. I thought it was an hour.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an
Oh,
hour,
you see,
but
we are going to the fireside. I said, what have you been doing, ma? But now
yes,
that you asked for it, I'm saying my mind.
I'm so sorry that we. Okay, I don't know if we should just carry this over, but these are pressing issues that we probably should like 1 minute to like answer or respond to. Does
Okay,
your time accommodate it, or should we just have it as a maybe respond later, or what do you think?
no, I think we should go on, but I might need to drop off by 7 on the dots.
Oh, we shouldn't get to 7. That would be too much, please.
Okay.
All right. So the first question I have here is, I don't know if this has been asked already. However, CS is quite new to the African workplace. I don't think customer success is new. It's just that we're now calling it customer success. I think I should address that. I know someone that even people that say they've been doing customer success for over 20 years, they've been doing support and customer relationship. Now that it's now called customer support, all of us are now saying, oh, we are doing customer success for over 20 years. All right. So please, that's that. I have a few questions. Are there communities for customer success people in Africa and Nigeria at this time? Do you want to answer or should we?
I mean, I think we have CS Africa. I think that's a first that we have. I don't know if you have a community, Gloria. And
Do you have
there's
a
this.
community, Judith?
I think I have, but I don't have because I don't because I know some people that I'm seeing there. If I say I don't have, they're going to attack me. But I want to say that we agreed to start that community, but we have not started. We've not. But yeah, CS Africa, I think CS Africa is still wobbly. But if I'm going to have, let me just publicly say, if I'm going to have a community, it will be most likely paid, not not paid. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that paid part because it's a whole lot of work and you have to like put people. I think that is why we fail when you're building a community because everybody's coming in free and everybody's doing their job, right? And people are volunteering. So you just have to like have a paid platform. And if you want to join CS community, there's also the CS Ninja, that's Customer Experience Ninja. Judith is doing an amazing job on that. So probably can check
That
how.
is.
Oh, sorry. Gladys,
Yeah,
yes. Gladys is doing an amazing job in that area.
I
There's
think it's
also
Telegram.
customers. Yeah, there's Telegram. They have you can just look them up on LinkedIn, but she will be having her, I think, like on the 30th of second. I can't remember. All right, so she'll talk more about that. There's also Customer Success Africa. We've not been doing so much in that area then, but then we're going to start fully. And there's also supposed to be Customer Success Network. Where is Temitope and Lillian, where they are supposed to be anchoring customer success network in Africa. All right. So those are few one. There are actually so many of them, but I'll probably compile and share later. Okay. So let's go to the next question. How are we advocating for customer success in more startups? How are we advocating for customer success in more startup businesses in Nigeria, Africa, and scaling this in the workspace? I don't know. Did you get the question?
Yeah, how are we advocating for CX in startups at the workspaces, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll say that as a leader is by really understanding what your role is and also taking it down to the level of the smallest person on your team. Nothing like gatekeeping. People should know the data.
Yeah.
People should know why they are there so that if they call upon anybody, they will know that Judith can actually take some rest and somebody on that her team can do this. So I feel that empowering people is one way to go about making startups understand that everybody is valued in the CX space. That's my own unique way of ensuring that if I'm working in startups, I try to portray that. Although I've been really privileged to work in companies that really, really value CS. So when the employee like this, they're the ones that think it is you that way. So it's a rare privilege for me, really. So I've not been able to say I've been the one pushing, rather it was already established. there before I joined. So I'm not exactly the right person to say how I'm advocating, but if you have something to add, happy to hear, please, Victoria. Gloria.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. So advocating can just be tricky, right? The first thing I do, so there was a time we had to other department to come and do support for a day. So when we're having customer service week, there's a day we just have other departments like, oh, come and do calling, come and call customers if you think it's easy, come and do something, right? So once they experience that, they're like, whoa, this is a whole lot. Why this man shouting? Why is this happening? Why is that? You're trying to have a meeting with somebody and they're not even, they don't have your time, right? So that's one way you can do that. The other way you can do is you have to show value at every point in time. Know how your goal ties with the upper level. Like when you, especially if you're a CS leader, understand value system or value chain. The upper guys, they are not thinking about support tickets and all. Bring your data and insights. How is that translating to the assets under management? How is that translating to overall goal of the organization? So from there, if you're able to align properly and they see what you're bringing in, it's not just, oh, I'm solving tickets every day. They will see that, oh, there's something here, and they'll probably employ more hands and just do a whole lot. But then for more startups, and that is why we are all having conversation around this, so that we have conferences and showcase that, oh, there's something like this, and this is the value we bring to organizations. So if we have conferences the way they're having so many other ones in the UK and all, there's so many customer success conferences all over. So if we have that whole like 2-3 times a year, you're going to see that, oh, without us even saying so much, there'll be a change. All right. So I think that's what we are going to be working on. But on your own level, make sure you are doing the work as a CSM. Make sure they see value. Make sure you're talking about it. All right. Probably won't be able to answer that scaling for now. But then the last question from this person is, are their organization currently championing customer success in Nigeria, and you encourage more CS people to apply? Judith?
In Nigeria.
Yeah. Championing customer success.
I think what I really enjoyed working as a CS person was Eden before I transitioned to growth. They really value what customer success is. You feel they call them gardeners. And I'm not exactly sure they are hiring, but I think I really enjoyed being a CS person there. Yeah, and at the moment, who is hiring? I don't know who is hiring space as we speak. And I want to just say that if you just see you're hiring for CS, that's why I stopped collecting CVs. A lot of people are jumping on it. Not to scare anybody, it's a bit saturated, so you need to put your A game. And like Lambert mentioned something, and I picked up your network.
Absolutely.
Because, and I think I did not even mention this, I no longer actually put it up. It's my network. If I just post on my WhatsApp, forget that I have 10 CVs already. So I'm going to fill that space very fast. I will now look at, out of those 10 people, who do I like? Like, I mean, amazing friend. I'm not even like, I mean, who, in terms of level of their prestige from my own hierarchy, that the person is not. So from there, I know who to go with. So, I mean, just be able to network, let people know you and know the value of your work, your values. They'll just easily point you into the right directions. And for example, if anybody asks me, I've never applied for a role in my life. So I've just been meet Judith. So that's worked for me. So I think it worked for other people as well. So I don't really know some openings. So.
Thank you for sharing. For organization currently championing customer success in Nigeria, I will say the first place you should look at is Pikiverse. We're going to have somebody from there come speak with us. They are doing an amazing job in that area when it comes to their customer success. And another place is Quidax. I've worked with Quidax for some time, so they are doing they don't play with their customer success, right? Especially the team just get to like go and chill somewhere and just like rejuvenate and all. So please, if you want to work, always look at Quidax. It's an amazing place to work. While I was there, but I don't know about now. But then they really do take care of customer success people, and especially if you want to work, make sure it's a fintech that has been in the space for over 3-4 years. Right? There's this thing about taking care of their people. All right. So I think that's what you should lean towards. I currently don't have anyone apply receiving or for you to apply right now, but then always look at their websites and talk to people around that area. And networking is so important. And another thing I would like to say is don't play with your LinkedIn. If you know me probably for 2, 3 months, you probably have heard me say LinkedIn, carry it on your head, and all, because that's where you meet people and and when I don't say LinkedIn will give value, like value. I don't say, I'm not saying you should just post about what is happening in your family, how somebody did not eat and all. Let people see value. Let's put it, it's not about being desperate, right? It's about you genuinely giving value and genuinely caring about people. There are roles, I get roles and get recommendation now because of I just show up, right? So genuinely, if it's 2 times you can show up with value, do that. If it's once a week, it's okay. But don't sleep on it. Let your work at what your work is not going to speak for you. I like working, right? But then that is not going to speak for you. It doesn't have mouths. Your work is just there. But then if you want to other people to see the amazing work you're doing, you need to talk about it. And if you don't have a close network, me, I don't, if you don't have like circle of friends that probably have that, maybe startups and all, or that don't have such opportunities, then the next thing is for you to die on LinkedIn and other job places. All right. So don't just show up there with value every single time. All right. And I think we talk about that a little bit in my course. So let's go over the next question before we round up. Okay, please, I love your professional advice. Which will you recommend for people interested in transitioning to customer success? Should one take professional certification courses, for example, take courses will take courses with success hacker, etc., or join a paid mentorship with someone prominent in the customer success space? Ah, Judy, thank you. Head of customer success, you are paying 350. Okay, put it in your pocket and call me. Like for real, please, I beg you.
I'm not even kidding with you.
No,
I
that's
think
ridiculous.
the best person to answer this particular question, right, in terms of certifications for people to use and all, I feel certifications are like the first thing to just like have because they're very theoretical, not practical. I also like advise people to do a lot of like volunteer. And one thing you mentioned is about the LinkedIn posts. When you volunteer at some things that you've done, you could just write about them and or share about them. It will just go a long way. It must necessarily be like, oh, you are doing a knowledge base. It could be like maybe just your team members and you're sharing it. It just like keeps telling you, oh, and then you keep like shuffling your ideas yourself and you learn and unlearn. And so that when you get to a new role or when you now, especially those things show in your interviews because they are like hands-on, sprinkle of hands-on, not theoretical. But I largely think that you should do certifications. It helps because some of us were privileged to just like have hands-on. At the time we started startups, we were just like a lot. I just did data course before I know it, you have data. So I just you get so it just became really to the next, but now it's a bit saturated. You need to do some courses, you need to be in spaces, you need to understand a lot of things before you get that job. Then if they think you have the idea and they can do spirits, we are good. I'm not talking about people starting, I mean people that want to like get to the next stage. People starting can work for them and all. But I believe, Gloria, because you have like courses to really give out, that would be like a good point from your own end.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. What will I say to someone that wants to transition to customer success? The first thing I'll say is that, excuse me, the first thing I'll say is having certification does not guarantee you have a job, right? And sometimes the words are going to go over your head if you are doing certification, especially for you're just doing it because, oh. When I started, I didn't start with certification. I think it was after this first year or second year, that's when I started doing certification. And I think it really helped, right? But then if you have the money, yes, you can do certifications. Yes. But if you don't have the money and you want to get in faster, you can just start with, I wouldn't say paid mentorship. maybe what you say is mentorship is not the same as what I mean with mentorship. Mentorship is just people you like shadowing people. Is that what you mean by mentorship? Or somebody actively training you on you having hands-on skills? So the best way to actually get knowledge on this thing is for you to, if there are courses, I think Customer Success Africa also have this training they do. So you can start from there. For me, for those, so I'm just trying to be very careful of you telling you go and do courses and go and do that. You just have to like just be careful on how you do all those things. It's not really at the end of the day you can do all that and not get a job, right? But then you can do all that and just have the knowledge. So what the final thing I'll say is if maybe you have customer service experience and you want to transition to customer success, you can take my course for it. You can I'm not even kidding, right? I have people here that have taken my course and they can attest to that. You just need to understand what we are talking about, not just papers. Yeah, it's good. You can just go and do the free courses. Do the free courses first, right? Before you jump on the success hacker, because that's quite expensive. I think currently is about 100 or above that. Or I was trying to work with them to bring it down to, I was trying to work with them so that we can have like something that favors Africans, because but the value for money here is different from there. You can't compare that to here, but I wasn't getting anywhere. So that's why I had to like tailor something that is for Africa, right? So something that would really take you from we're not bombarding you with words. Something that take you from where you are right now to where you ought to be. So if you see good mentorship, that people that understand customer success, please go for that. It's better. And once you have your foot in the door, you can now go for Success Hacker and so many other ones. Okay, that's what I believe you should do, and that's what I'll tell my younger self or younger person. Lillian, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, Judy talked about getting volunteer opportunities, and I would like to know how to get the opportunities for some of us that don't really know how to go about it.
Okay.
So now you have Gloria in your corner. I think she knows a lot of people. So I believe that's really where I'm I'm looking towards saying, oh, if I have the time, which I don't have at the moment, I'm thinking that's something I'm looking at Q3. It's another angle I'm looking at when I say I want to start a circle or CX. It's actually maybe top managers and the likes. How then do we really bring in people to grow from what we are doing? So now I have a lot on my plate right now. That's basically because Nigeria, one job is not feeding us again in Nigeria.
Yep.
So I just want to say that. So if I can get it, I'm not saying I need it right now because I think I have, but I'm saying if I would be like, oh, hey, I have this and I need somebody to do this. I'm not saying that there's no payments, but it's just like a room to actually have people have like a handhold in projects that you have by the sides that you could literally give out. So if you have any of your mentor could help you, or your could just help ask around their peers. Hey, do you need somebody to help you with anything? Do you have a project you're currently running? And you could actually post something like that on LinkedIn. Hey, guys, does anybody need somebody to work on a project with right now around this area? And if everybody has it, could be like, especially if there's no some sort of data privacy involved, you get yourself like hands-on experience on something that you would enjoy doing. So that's what I think.
Yeah. And I think when we talk about volunteering and all, people just think because they don't have to pay you, you are going to find it easily. No, it's not going to be like that. Is even volunteering work, you still have to put in a lot of work, right? Talk to people about it, look for sites. And I tell people that looking for a job is a full-time job. You have to be dedicated and determined to get it. If I want to get a job tomorrow or next week or next month, I know what to do. I'll have my timetable and the way I'll be applying as if I'm a mad person. That is what I used to do. But now I can just tell one or two people in my circle that, oh, I'm currently looking for this, right? But if for you, you don't have to just keep applying and as you're applying, apply yourself. Like keep learning on it and just keep applying and talk to people about it. If you don't have a job and you're looking for a job, let everybody that meets you or you meet, tell them about it. You're looking for a job and nobody in your family knows that you're looking for a job or your close friends. I don't think that's good enough. So talk to people about it. The job you're looking for in far north is in Lagos here. So just try to talk to people about it, that that's what you're looking for. And of course, I probably am working on something that will be able to have a job pool. So we'll have, and I think that way we'll be able to regulate the kind of salary that comes in, because I don't, why in God's name are you paying somebody 350? Do you know going to the island and coming to the mainland is already taking the whole thing? Please, I beg you. All right. All right. So I think that's all the question we can take. Lillian, you have one question. Okay, Lillian, you are going to ask one question, then we'll round off because our time is fast spent. Musa, can you please, Musa Adebola, can you drop your question in the chat if it's something we can take right now? Where can you want get? Yeah. If it's something we can take. All right. Lillian, are you here? Do you want to ask a question? My own.
No, okay. The last one I wanted to ask was, what should one look out for when they are like recently transitioned into a CX role?
Okay. What can one look out for when you're okay? Judith, you want to go?
I want to first say that I love that question because it's making me think, what do I look out for? Lillian, that was a very good question. What do you look out for when you are transferring to a CS role? So I will try to answer it in two ways, meaning expectations from the company and also expectations for yourself on what to like come ready with empathy skills, come ready to learn, come ready to document, right? Because that's what you would need for other things to explore. What do you sorry, now again, I'm sorry because I mean it's a really good question because it's making me think so hard. What to expect when transitioning to a CX role? Expectations. What do I expect? Gloria, please, you can help me because I don't know what I want to say the expectations are, aside from your expectations on your JD or what exactly your KPIs are in terms of generally what the market is. So let's say if I'm employing a CS person for where I currently work, my expectations are to be able to put that person top funnel of my high transacting profile. So I need them to do more. So it's generally looking at your JD and seeing how you could actually live it to the fullest. That's what I would say. Like look at your JD, what are your expectations and how do I go about it? That's basically what I do. Some organization gives you like give us a 3 months plan. Maybe that's like when you are in a higher level. But I think I started doing that since when I was still like an associate because I was privileged to also have like good managers that would just say, ask yourself these questions. I mean, I'll now ask myself, what do you want to see? How do you want to really I'm hearing myself. And what do you want to see and how do you want to apply yourself? So you now ask yourself, how do you want to be perceived? How do you want to really show up for the job and all of that? And all this my explanation, I don't think it makes sense. But yeah, I feel it's a good question. Personally, I think it's a good question. So please, anybody else can jump in to help Lillian out.
Okay, that's a good one. Lillian, thank you so much for joining and for asking brilliant questions, right? So what will I look out for if I'm transitioning to customer success? No matter how desperate you are, you have to look at people, right? I'll call it four P's, right? The first thing is people. Who are they that who like what culture do you not want to work with? There are people, some people use F word at work. Maybe during your interviews, you're going to see that. What kind of people will you not want to work with? So whenever you're like transitioning, look at that. Any organization you want to go, Do they align with your core values, with your core values? Do they align? And the kind of product, there are products I will never sell, right? So you need to look at that. So if there are products you can never deal with, you need to look at that from that aspect. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do this, and don't even apply for such roles, right? And the other one is process. Do they have like a process in place? Maybe the first interview you're going to have, they said they are going to show up like, let's say 9 a.m. and they came maybe 9:30 and nobody is even saying sorry, we kept you waiting and all. That's already a bad sign, right? So you need to look at those little things. And maybe you are in already, maybe you just transition and the way they are doing, everybody's just moving mad, nothing is aligned, no process in place. Boss is secretary is talking to your guy, see if their husband and wife, please. That's not where you should